It's hurricane season, and as we watch what happens this year, we should never forget the past. Hampton Roads and the Outer Banks are no strangers to tropical storms and hurricanes. History over the centuries shows that tropical weather has changed how and where we live. 10 on Your Side takes a trip back over the years and through our archives to show you the extremes from Mother Nature. Your host, Chief Meteorologist Emeritus Don Slater, who has covered the worst of Hampton Roads weather for more than 4 decades. Right now, he's tracking the tropics and reliving the storm.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the next in our series of specials on the tropics. Now, as we know, our region needs to be ready each and every hurricane season. You never know what nature may send our way, and it's been that way for centuries. Our local National Weather Service office was opened in 1871. But records show numerous hurricanes hit our area in the 17th, 18th, and 19th centuries, some of them actually changing our coastline. A storm in September 1667 widened and lengthened the Lynn Haven River. And a pair of hurricanes in 1749 and 1806 carved out what we now know as Willoughby Spit in Norfolk. One of the most memorable hurricanes of the 20th century hit in 1933. The storm on August 23rd was one of 2 within a month. It caused a modern record high tide. 18 people died and downtown Norfolk flooded. Back in 1982, for another hurricane special, I interviewed a woman who described that terrifying day.
Matilda Daniels was 16 years old, vacationing in Ocean View when the greatest hurricane of this century struck on August 23, 1933.
I woke up in time to see this huge seine hauling boat that my uncle had coming toward the cottage. The waves were high, and it hit the big metal winch outside of my window, shattered the boat. And of course, we didn't do much sleeping after that. And then Dad took us down in the car all the way down to Willoughby, where we could get through.
What did Willoughby look like?
Devastation.
After 1933, other memorable storms hit, like Hazel in 1954 and Donna in 1960. Both will be remembered for their high death tolls through the Caribbean and up the East Coast. Some of the earliest coverage we could find in our videotape collection comes from 1979. That's when Hurricane David, only the second storm to bear a male name, hit the Caribbean and East Coast. Much of David went to our west, but it did spawn 2 powerful tornadoes on the peninsula. Reporter Joan Gartland shows us the damage from one of those tornadoes.
Today, the Chesapeake Bay is calm, and residents are sifting through what is left of their homes. In some cases, there isn't much. The tornadoes, with winds estimated to be well in excess of 100 miles an hour, hit the bayfront around 5:30 last night. Winds swept through the wooden beach houses, splintering them into small pieces and literally lifting some right off their wooden stilts. When it was over, 18 houses were extensively damaged, several of those completely destroyed. 4 people received minor injuries. Alice Moore was in this white frame house when the tornado hit. She describes what happened.
Just was a terrific noise, and the guys started flying in the house, and things were going all over the house, you know, and I had to get on my hands and knees to crawl to get to another room where there wasn't so much glass. And just a swish like it. And I don't know, I thought the end of the earth, my time had come. I'm a retired school principal, and I thought, really, this is it, no retirement.
People and houses weren't the tornado's only victims. Cars were tossed around like tinker toys, some landing up to 50 feet from where they were parked. VEPCO and telephone company crews worked throughout the day to repair torn lines and broken poles. They hope to have service restored to the area by tonight.
The real miracle here is that no one was killed. And despite all of the destruction, that's one thing the residents of Buckrow Beach have to be thankful for. Joan Gartland, Area 10 Eyewitness News, Hampton.
1979 was the first year male names were used for storms, the very first being Bob. David was the most intense storm of that year, hitting Category 5 before striking Hispaniola.
How long do we have to put up with this kind of weather?
Through tomorrow night, by the looks of things. It looks like our wind is going to hold up for a while.
Remember that guy? Anyway, 2 years after Hurricane David, I got here in 1981, and the first major storm I had to keep an eye on didn't really come around until 1985. That was Gloria. Forecasting technology still had come a long way since Hurricane David. Here's a look at how we covered preparations for that storm.
You're looking at the Atlantic Ocean live along the Virginia Beach oceanfront. Hurricane Gloria is now miles away. It headed toward Hampton Roads and the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Good evening, I'm Diana Morgan. The city of Virginia Beach began evacuating residents from some areas this afternoon. Norfolk and some other cities have also opened their evacuation centers. Terry Zahn is live at Virginia Beach City Hall. He'll have a report in just a few minutes. We're going to devote our entire newscast to Hurricane Gloria tonight. First, Don Slater joins us with the latest on the hurricane's location. Don?
130-mile-an-hour winds associated with this storm right now. It's expected to make landfall tonight sometime. This is the current forecasted track. These are very, very difficult to predict, but it's expected to move ashore someplace between Morehead City and Cape Hatteras, North Carolina.
I'm here at the Municipal Center, the Public Safety Building. Just beyond me are some doors and then stairs leading downstairs to the Emergency Operations Center. That is the Nerve Center, which is fully staffed throughout this entire emergency.
This is Dr. Melvin Horn's oceanfront home. The house survived the Ash Wednesday storm of 1962 when many others around didn't. But Dr. Horn has doubts it will make it through Gloria.
Well, we're still hopeful, but you know, I'm not going to be disappointed if it's gone. I'm rather fatalistic about it, but we're hoping.
Horn says he's prepared himself for the worst, realizing that there is not enough beach and dunes at Sandbridge now to avert damage to the hundreds of homes built there. There was more hammering on the resort strip, merchants preparing for the worst and hoping for the best. Bill Margaritas had his employees taping the windows of the Puritan restaurant at 17th and Atlantic, and he didn't want to leave.
I wish if I can stay here all night to watch the place, because this is what I worked for all 20 years, you know, and if something happened to, you know, we're going to be very bad.
At the Holiday Inn Oceanside Hotel, workmen were using staple guns rather than hammers to board up first-floor windows. But here they were also taking sand off the beach and stuffing it into bags, then taking the bags to an assembly line at the beach side of the structure.
We're trying to protect our electrical room.
Yeah?
Trying to keep it as dry as we can so we can get back in operation.
How about the upper floors of this hotel and everything? What can you do about that?
Not very much. We're pretty much just, if the wind doesn't blow too hard, we'll be okay.
It should be noted that Gloria was also the first hurricane to directly affect New York City since Donna back in 1960. More storms to come, including one still very fresh on our minds, Hurricane Matthew's surprising aftermath, coming up. Plus, back-to-back storms that caused chaos for part of our area right before the turn of the century. And later, the storm no one will ever forget, even decades later, Isabel's wrath and its after effects later in the show. As we go to a break, a moment many viewers remember as Hurricane Irene blew up the East Coast.
I am past perpendicular. Look at that. It's holding me up. It's holding me up, guys. Here's Bonnie rattling an Avon gas station. Flimsy, but the owner's bold prediction.
It's probably designed to give some during heavy winds.
As for the Chevron canopy, would Bonnie give it a break? No way. This canopy's last storm. Kaput.
A look at Hurricane Bonnie, which hit the area in August 1998. It tracked over the Outer Banks and knocked out power to more than 300,000 customers and causing more than $15 million in damage to our area. Just a year later, a pair of storms that made 1999 a memorable one for Hampton Roads. The first, hardly as big as the second. But Dennis set the tone for September of that year.
Earlier today, Andy Fox made his way south to Cape Hatteras to take a look around.
In fact, he was lucky to make his way back up to Kill Devil Hills. Andy is live with us now. Andy, how bad was that drive?
Photographer Richard McKinney and I were here during Hurricane Bonnie, and we both agreed that the winds in this storm are a lot tougher, and the wind and the rain much worse than it was during Hurricane Bonnie. During Hurricane Bonnie, we could get down to Hatteras, up and back. Now we can't. 2 miles north of Rodanthe, the road is out. We were in Kitty Hawk earlier today, where they're deciding whether they should stay or whether they should go.
And it is still windy out here, still very windy. At some points it's a little hard to stand, some sporadic rain, but I want you to take a look at the surf. Take a look at this surf over here. Some swells as high as 15 feet out here at Nag's Head. That is also a concern for people at Hatteras.
Virginia Beach oceanfront is getting pounded as well.
10 on your side's Mary Kay Maloney is live now in Virginia Beach with a look at what it's like there. Mary Kay?
Let me step, we're kind of behind this live truck right now. Now we'll step out into the parking lot of this hotel on 9th Street here. It's extremely windy. It's really not raining that hard. I think the wind is what's making it worse. You can look down here at the parking lot, Dave, you get a shot. You can see the wind blowing across the parking lot, across the water there, just sweeping across. That kind of gives you an idea of how hard the wind is blowing right now. I took a drive down Atlantic, and you can start to see there are tree limbs and stuff that are starting to come off of trees along here. The awnings that hang over some of the shops down here are starting to come off and get ripped apart. Drove by, you know, where the carnival rides are at the ocean front. Those are, you can see damage to those as well. There are some people running around here going to shops and stuff like that, but for the most part it's very deserted down here. The wind again is what is worse right now. The rain not very strong, but the wind is definitely kicking it around here at the ocean front. We're going to take a spin around here and see what else we can see, and we'll bring you that again in a little bit. Back to you guys.
The soaking from Dennis set up the insult to injury that Floyd dumped on us just 2 weeks later. It passed directly over Virginia Beach, but that wasn't where the biggest problems happened. Head 60 miles west of Franklin, which experienced a 500-year flood, one that people there still talk about. More than a quarter century later, the scars remain.
Live from the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
He came, he saw, but he did not conquer. Hurricane Floyd is history, but he sure did make his mark on Hampton roads. If you live in Newport News, you can forget about your car. You need a boat. But if you think that's bad, the folks in Portsmouth have seen it even worse. Get this, they don't even have water and won't have water for more than a week.
That water pumping station is now inoperable. It may take 7 to 10 days to restore that.
And it's bad enough when your car stalls in the water, but how about your house? These people wanted out, and a second-story window was their only escape. Plus, the winds topped 100 miles per hour. Trees toppled and roofs were ripped off homes. The Outer Banks took a real beating.
We continue in-depth coverage now of Hurricane Floyd. Here's the very latest on the storm. More than 200,000 Virginia Power customers have lost electricity. The Department of Transportation reports more than 100 road closures. And sadly, Floyd is blamed for 3 deaths, 2 in North Carolina and 1 in Virginia.
We are above downtown Suffolk right now. I want to take you right down. This is unbelievable. We are in downtown Franklin. We're in downtown Franklin. The entire area here in downtown Franklin is completely underwater. There are businesses that are completely devastated. A stockbroker firm, I know, we just talked to $200,000 in losses. Homes completely submerged in water up to the roofs. It's absolutely unbelievable. People. My colleague Andy Fox, who was down there with them, telling Andy that they have never ever seen anything like this in downtown Franklin. This is the overflow we're getting from the Blackwater River. It has come off of the river and now onto all of these homes in this downtown area of Franklin. Businesses and homes all over the place. Unbelievable view from up here.
We're showing you that it's not only flooded in downtown Franklin, it is flooded in most of the streets heading into Franklin It's literally an island. There is millions of dollars worth of damage in Franklin. They have suffered the loss of Union Camp, which got bought out by International Paper. They've lost some other big businesses. We rode along today in a pontoon with Franklin Mayor Jim Council, and he kind of went along. He's grown up in this town. He's seen it. He's seen the town when it didn't have this water, and now he has seen it the way it is today. He was gracious enough to invite us along. This is what we saw.
This is our telephone company, GTE, and we've lost all telephone communication throughout the city, as well as cellular, as well as wireless. There's our street sign, 2nd Avenue. This is a brand new redone building right over here, the Scott and Associates. Right here. Yep. They just finished remodeling that whole building, and you can see the computers are floating inside. That used to be Council's Florist, our business years ago. It's now just flooded. Everything's floating. This is a Blackwater Grill restaurant on the right. They've just reopened under new management about 3 weeks ago, Jack, wasn't it? And they're out of business. I mean, this is just amazing.
Even with all of that flooding, no one died in Franklin. However, 4 people, including one on the Eastern Shore, lost their lives due to the impacts of Floyd. Fast forward to another soaker for the region, Hurricane Matthew in 2016. That storm struck over a weekend in early October. It's best known for dumping nearly a foot of rain on parts of Virginia Beach and Chesapeake. The devastation from that flooding was enormous.
A Monday mess after a weekend many of us will never forget. Hurricane Matthew's long gone, but the memories linger.
People across the area are picking up and unfortunately will be doing so for days, weeks, and for some, months to come. What a massive cleanup effort this is turning into for millions of people, including here in Hampton Roads.
From trees and power lines down everywhere to streets still flooded today, and there's a lot to do. Here are the headlines as we look at video today from Chopper 10. 2 people are confirmed dead in Hampton Roads, one in Hampton, the other in a crash on 64 in Chesapeake Sunday morning. 8 were killed during Matthew in North Carolina.
The curfew in Dare County has been lifted, and there are some closings tomorrow. They're on the bottom of your screen. More than 70,000 people remain without power. Some folks still can't leave their neighborhood unless it's by boat, and flood warnings remain up for parts of our area.
And we have covered a lot of storms, but this damage almost looks like a tornado came through. When you look around at the debris, a tree fell down and hit this home and kept going, and it hit this one. And tonight, members of the community have been helping out. They've been salvaging what they can from this home.
We are actually standing on the curb. You can see just how high this water is. At some parts, though, of the neighborhood, the water is actually above the knee.
Also in Norfolk, progress is being made on one of the underpasses filled to the top by water from Hurricane Matthew. This was on Virginia Beach Boulevard in the city. When the water was finally drained to a more reasonable level, the city found several vehicles in there. Needless to say, those cars probably a total loss. It's another major repair project for NC-12 after Matthew does some major damage once again. 10 on your side in Kitty Hawk, where overwash caused parts of the always vulnerable road to collapse. Officials there estimate that 125 yards of the road caved in. Many side roads are also flooded along the Outer Banks. It could be 3 weeks before 12 is repaired. They're hoping a sand replenishment plan for spring will make an extra buffer.
The flooding from Matthew prompted the city of Virginia Beach to accelerate nearly 24 projects to mitigate flooding in the city. After the break, the most memorable hurricane of this century for Hampton Roads. A look back at Isabel right after this break. Welcome back. By far the most impactful and wide-ranging storm to hit Hampton Roads and the Outer Banks in recent memory was Isabel. For nearly 12 long hours, we huddled in our homes while the wind and tidal flooding persisted. Thousands of trees were knocked down, and there were power outages to nearly 2 million people. Isabel's storm surge in 2003 was second only to that 1933 storm. As such, it was the strongest storm in 70 years.
From the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
Good morning and welcome to WAVY News 10 special coverage of Hurricane Isabel.
Back on the air with you this morning as things continue to intensify.
Now here is the center of the storm right into here. That is the eye of the storm, and that eye of the storm a little bit closer here, right about into here. It's about 110 miles to the southeast of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, and it's moving northwestward now at about 14-15 miles an hour.
Without knowing and with only the creature comforts they could carry, the stream of people heading into the shelter began before the doors even opened.
You could call this the Hurricane Hall of Fame. The folks here are veterans of hurricanes past. You can tell this wood's been up before. Office, left window. Dennis, the menace. Bonnie, go home. And now Isabel, the Jezebel. It's 12:30 on Thursday. Best we can tell, the eye of the hurricane is passing over around Ocracoke.
We're out here at the Sea Ranch 2 Hotel. This is in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. This area is completely washed out right here.
It's going to be a big one, but you're going to be okay if you have evacuated off the ocean front and the bayfront. What do? Be ready to camp out in your own home. No power. Scary, scary afternoon ahead. You think it's nasty out there now. We've seen some of our reporters out there. It's going to get a lot nastier. You don't want to be out there at all.
So let me show you the pier. The first 30 feet of the pier, the wooden pier here on about 14th, 13th Street, it's gone. It just absolutely fell apart in these waves. I would guess they're about 15-foot waves.
We are out here right in Ocean View at 4th View and Ocean View Avenue. We are getting those heavy gusts of wind. I want to show you here, the street is completely gone along Ocean View Avenue. This is why they called for mandatory evacuations.
Just past 6 o'clock, Friday, September 19th, 2003, the day after Hurricane Isabel, and just now we are just beginning to see how widespread the damage is from that storm. The biggest problem right now, about 4 million Virginians still without power, the largest power outage in the history of the state.
To give you an idea of just how powerful the storm was, we're here now in Kitty Hawk. This is was a relatively newly paved road on the beach road, Highway 12. There was part of the Save the Road program. You can see all the chunks of asphalt that have been lifted up by the immense waves that were just pounding on this.
The entire Midtown Tunnel is flooded, and that's why people can't get through. There is more than 14 feet. There are more than 14 feet of water inside the Midtown Tunnel. The height limit for trucks going through is 13 feet, 6 inches, and you can see that there's no space between what would have been the ground and the top of that tunnel.
Amazing.
10 people died during Isabel in Virginia, and more than $900 million in damage was left behind in Hampton Roads after Isabel moved on to our west and finally fell apart. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Hampton Roads has dealt with significant hurricanes and tropical storms, and we will again someday. We encourage you to check out the first in our series of hurricane season programs. It shows you the challenges of forecasting storms, how climate change is affecting the intensity of tropical systems, plus what you need to know about how to prepare this year and every year. You can find that special streaming right now on WAVY Plus. For all of us on the Super Doppler 10 weather team, I'm Don Slater. Thanks for watching.